I had an interesting dream, which I usually do not remember my dreams. I woke this morning, and I remember that I was closing windows that were just left partially open, and spray like water was coming through onto the walls. And I found it very interesting. How I chose to take this was you need to make sure that all, the saying that I grew up with, all your T's are crossed and your, what is it, thoughts are marked or I's are marked. Yeah. So we really need to remember to follow through things to completion so that they can't, or nothing can come in the back door or sneak in or just have a smidgen of way to get in.
That's exactly right, because if any lesson or experience is not followed through to completion and it's still carried in your subconscious thought system, it's a stress that builds up, and it just keeps pushing at you until you recognize it and carry it through to completion. The best tool that I've found for clearing stress is simply to put your awareness on any stressful situation or unresolved thing, even way back in the past, and bringing it through in your mind, because the subconscious is very literal, and it accepts anything you imagine or fantasize or create as being the truth, and it'll bring to completion and release the thing. Otherwise, it's a low self-survival mechanism that holds on to fears or stresses or anxieties until they're completed.
Hello, testing. Oh, okay.
Well, I see that we're at the 9 o'clock hour.
Yeah, I don't see JP yet, though.
Not good. Not flipping.
Hi, everybody. I'm back.
Hi, Teresa. Yay.
We were just thinking of you, Teresa, and we were like, where's Teresa? And then I saw your name pop up.
Yeah.
And we said, your ears must be burning.
We were going to take a journey to find you and pull you out of the forest.
Yeah. Yes, with the Yetis and the owls.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I've got
hobbit.
Yes. Oh, it was beautiful. It was really beautiful.
Check one.
Yeah, there was an interesting thing happened. My friend has the people that she shares the property with, he's a lumberjack, and he wants to build a house, but he wants to, she mostly wants to build it with, sensitivity of what trees, can be taken. And so he's looking at this white spruce that's standing right across from his lot, his log house, and my friend said, no, don't do it. It's a grandmother, and she's the keeper of the water and of the land. She's 133 years old, and she's the wrong tree. And he said, oh, no, I'm going to cut it down because it's close. And she's crying, saying, no, you can't take me. There are other trees to take. Oops, someone's mic's open. Dent. So he just kind of blindly went in with a chainsaw and cut it down.
Oh, God.
And so it was really heartbreaking to be a witness to it. And no, I didn't see him fall the tree, but I saw it laying there, and it was awful. It hurt. It was really harsh to watch, and I didn't know what to do at all.
There's nothing that you can do, Teresa. You just have to let the feelings be, and then, which I know that you do normally is just give the grace and the gratitude and apologies of they know not what they do.
But this was even after he was told, which was bizarre.
I work with many of you in the sessions on environmental sensitivity, And it feels like you're being attacked by the environment because of things that you don't understand and which don't correlate with your body systems very well. And yet, if you open up into a sense of attunement and not of being subjective and afraid of the earth energies and the environmental devic forces of consciousness, but open up and flow with them, just like in that instance of flowing with the balance and the harmony of the land because of the stability that tree had brought in there for years. And that will no doubt open up because the tree was acting as a protector and a nurturer and a sustainer and giving life force, drawing life force into the area. They will feel a weakening of life force and it's almost karmic that things that begin to come back into that kind of a disrupted environment, and unless people are sensitive to it and adjust to it or adjust it with their minds, you can work directly with the devic forces with your minds, healing things, and I'd certainly recommend a healing for that locality now and understanding the balance of nature and harmony there. And it's almost like apologizing to nature for disrupting the harmony. And that's much of what we have to do on the international scale too, as we work with earthquakes and weather and things of that nature.
Yeah, it's like going with the flow. It's already been done, so now you like pick up the pieces and make it better.
Mhm. Yeah. Mhm.
Well, let's go ahead then. Are there any suggestions for today?
We still need rain in California.
Mhm.
Well, you're in that seasonal high down there now, and it's a tough thing to break. What we can do is there are storms in the southern latitudes that attempt to come up, but they usually come up too far inland and hit Nevada in their summer monsoons, and not Nevada, but New Mexico and through there. We can attempt to swing those further west, but it's not in the natural cycles. So we can just put our intent out there and ask for the seasons to accelerate and shift, bringing in the moisture flows that nourish California. So we can put our intent there now. But let's open up first of all and get into our expanded state of consciousness, where we literally are in attunement with nature and everything else. This is where the power is. This is where our own intuitive oversoul consciousness can work in and through us to help bring about a positive reality, a new world reality. And so take your awareness up into your foreheads and just to get as comfortable as possible. And let's let our intent for the day be to balance and harmonize the nature systems of the world that humans are so destructively taking out of balance, because those reflect right back into the devic force of consciousness all over the world. And even though they may be cutting 1,000 acres a day in the rainforest in the Amazon, that feeling resonates all the way around the world of the shock and trauma of the death release of those trees, and that the need to adjust and harmonize back in and balance that loss of life force that those trees draw into the environment. We give too little consideration to the realization that every tree, every living plant is like an antenna that attracts life force through the sun and translates that life force into energy that's used by all things of nature. And when you destruct something, capriciously or simply from domination or need to make money without consideration of the balance of the land, or working with the devas and promising to replant back in the land to bring back more species than what you're destroying, then we disrupt the harmony of nature, and that's has a large effect what directly influences the consciousness of Earth. As long as that domination force is dominating the resources and the life forces on Earth, it keeps Earth in stress itself. So let's work today in working with the general stress of Earth itself. So take your awareness back into your soul center, and we unify our intent there. And it's just almost like opening your heart to Mother Earth and feeling her pain, the disharmony. And so fixing our intent there through our will, we step on back deeper into the psychic center, unify our mental telepathic ability to resonate our intent around the world through all human consciousness. Then we step back and step deeper into the subtle energy field that our subconscious mind. The subconscious mind acts as the communication system from the subtle energy field that is the Devic force of consciousness and life force on Earth, acting and rising to the surface of consciousness to hold the form of all our reality. In that expanded state, still holding our intent to nurture Mother Earth as a whole, the female polarity as a whole, we drop our awareness down into the 0 point in the heart center. And we open up our awareness through the heart center down into Earth mind, asking to feel the stress. That's almost gives me a pain in the heart, a tremendous pressure in the heart, because the 0 point, nature itself is trying to balance the disrupted harmony. So we bring through the galactic flow now unconditional love and pour it into Mother Earth. Open up all the channels through every living being. Every living being that has consciousness, who has choice, who has free will, and we extend the desire and intent to them that they have consideration of nature and of the disharmony they're causing in nature by domination and utilizing more than their needs, or taking more than their needs in the utilization, and not giving back enough. If in nature it's enough, if you have nothing else to give back in the way of nurturing or replenishing what you've taken, it's enough to give the creative intent back, the creative energy, the life force back, so nature can heal and harmonize itself. So let's bring through an incredible flow now of unconditional love for Mother Earth. Drop it through her root chakras into the Earth mind, willing all mankind to subconsciously do the same thing, to have consideration of Earth and to make choices in dominion. Just as Teresa honored the tree and gave it energy for its loss. She can give energy back into Earth Mind to promote the growth of new trees that will perhaps grow in a safe location, to bring back the harmony, all time and space being now. We can bring back in this moment of now future balance and harmony, and reach into the future when Earth is more stable and humans are working with nature. We bring that dominion back from the future into this moment of now and back into the past to help people to make right choice, so it isn't just total destruction, that they're thinking and considering what they take and giving thanks and energy for it, so that the energy we direct of the life forces of nature can reconstitute the abundance that this beautiful planet gives us. And we feel our hands growing incredibly hot with the life force that we're pouring into Earth Mind now. Not just through us, but through the entire consciousness of mankind. And even though we're not being actively broadcast at this moment, it is being recorded, and the recording holds the moment of now. So that anyone who listens in the future will reinforce this moment of now. And we further drop our awareness to the life force that's pouring into the surface Earth through the sun. That life force that accumulates and is in the crust of the Earth to give life force to all the plants, the growing things, which in turn sustain all physical things that use the photosynthetic process. And we feel that life force stored in Earth Mind itself, and with the movement of the plates and the release of energy through volcanoes and earthquakes and the physical Earth activity, a lot of energy is released that can be utilized to strengthen our golden grid. And so we go to Southern California, tap into the energy grid, lift that energy upward, dispersing it around through the golden grid. And also, we bring up into the golden grid the intent to harmonize the Earth energies, as we just discussed, and bring peace and harmony and vitality and evolutionary growth to everything on Earth, and to prompt the humans who have the capacity to make right choice and create a paradise on Earth in opposition to the domination forces. As we lift that energy of the earthquakes in Southern California, extend our awareness from there on up along the San Andreas fault lines, up through California to San Francisco. We continue harmonizing, bringing back into balance the human activity that precluded the earthquake last week in that area. Now take our awareness to the east border of California and Nevada, in the Sierra Nevada mountains, extending the full length down to Southern California. There's an intensification of the subduction zone there that we continue to bleed the energy off of. So there's no destructive earthquakes in that region. We bring that upwards along the Rocky Mountain chain of that subduction zone. It's an ancient subduction zone that continues having activity, particularly up in the Yellowstone cauldron, that hot spot. Lift that energy upward. Easing the intensity. Distributing that force as life force, because that is accumulated life force, pure energy. Distributing that background through our golden grid to nurture all life force on Earth, to redistribute the planet energy and bring it back into balance. Come on northward to the Canadian line and then back westward to the Pacific Northwest. An ongoing minor activity there, full length of Oregon and Washington. Lifting those energies upward, that subduction zone energy that we lubricate. We pull energy from the golden grid to lubricate that. So it's a steady, ongoing, harmonious exchange of energy. Releasing the balancing. I'll take our awareness on northward to Alaska. There's an increased intensity, the full length of the subduction zone in southern Alaska, coming from the North Pacific Plate. There's volcanic activity arising from this. We lift that energy from all the dormant volcanoes. Lift the energy upward, release it. There's such an incredible amount of energy lifting there all the time. As in these strong central earthquake zones, we leave a permanent umbrella of energy flowing upward and distributing through the golden grid. As we move southeast along the Aleutian Trench, ongoing mid-range activity there always. Lift that upward. And westward to the Kamchatka Trench. Stretches southward and becomes the Japan Trench. There is some high mid-range activity, 5.2, in North Nikko, Japan, and other areas even areas off the coast. We wrap that energy as we left it from Japan around the radioactivity that's being released in the nuclear reactors, and lift that area into the golden grid, carrying the radioactivity into the ionosphere, transmuting it into beneficial energy that'll help heal the destructive force of the radioactivity that's already been released in the Pacific Basin. And we direct our attention to the Pacific Basin and neutralize any radioactivity, sending healing, galactic healing to any organism that's under stress from radioactivity in the entire Pacific Basin. I'll take your awareness southward to the Philippines. They're fairly quiet today with the 5.3 north of Jamalig in the Philippines. And move on south into Indonesia. Still minor activity, but we know this is always a precursor to more intense activity to come, so we reach into the future and lift the energy that's building for future eruptions or future earthquakes, earth shifts. We lift that energy upward from the future to help stabilize this entire area, particularly along the Java Trench. We see the same situation in New Guinea. We look into the future, raise the energy that's building, release it to maintain stability. Move on eastward to the island, all the islands of Western Pacific, through Fiji and Tonga, southward to New Zealand. There's a 4.4 at Waitara, New Zealand. We ease the stress surrounding that. I'll take your awareness eastward to South America. And the Andes Mountains, only minor activity today. But again, we reach into the future and lift any buildup of energy. All the way up through to Colombia. And Central America is releasing quite a few mid-range activities now at Guatemala, southward through Nicaragua. Beneath this these are subduction zones, but they trigger volcanic releases inland. We lift those upward. Continue on eastward. To Georgetown in the Cayman Islands, 5.1, and further eastward to the Dominican Republic, where there is continual release of minor activity, through Puerto Rico, now we move eastward to the Mediterranean, some major activity at Adamas, Greece, 5.6. And on eastward to northern Iraq, 4.5 at the Mandali, Iraq area, and northward to Kyrgyzstan, now there's no activity in China at this time. Let's extend our awareness all the way through mid-western Japan, in the subduction zone there. Fault lines, lift those energies that are building up into the future. Lift those upward now to neutralize any potentially destructive earthquakes in that region. Now we move back across the Pacific to our point of beginning and on into the fracking zones around Perry, Oklahoma. These are up into the 3.1 level, indicating the activity of gas removal and oil removal from the fracking. We use those energy releases to heal, bring back into harmony earth mind in those regions. Move eastward to the new Madrid fault line and Caruthersville, Missouri. There's potential building up there as this has become more active in the last year. Lift that energy upward. As we're working in this area, I feel a lot of stress building up in my throat. This is an indication that we're missing something here. So we open up and ask, what region needs more attention in the United States? I'm drawn to the Appalachian Mountains, where the fracking activity it has the potential of triggering major earthquakes in the full Appalachian chain, although we're way ahead on this one. But this is the time to clear that building energy, because the North American plate, the North Atlantic plate, does subduct and create the Appalachian Mountains. And the fracking that's increasing in that whole region is weakening the structure of the mountain upthrust there, giving the potential of major earthquakes. So we lift that energy upward, all the way up through into Canada, full length up through Maine and Montreal. And there has been some minor activity in the Montreal area, Quebec. As we release those energies, you feel that your throat loosen up. So our awareness is that we should keep an eye on this and check into it occasionally. The right upper side of my throat has some real intensity. They're trying to tell us something here. Oh, they're bringing our attention to the earth shift, the pole shift again. So take our awareness back to the point of beginning and take our awareness down deeper into the crust of earth and around the earth, and put our attention on the poles and the pole shift. And once again, we reach out into this stressful domination energy of all humans that's been accumulated in the crust of earth and earth mind. And we transmute that energy of human stress caused potential events, transmute that into stabilizing the crustal movements. And now we feel that happening. The shift is occurring, but it can occur over a long period of time. It does not have to be abrupt. It also brings my attention to the solar consciousness, the power of the sun, and there are some filaments building up on the sun that could affect Earth. We release that energy to Earth in a different form, not an electromagnetic burst, but in a steady stream of energy that interacts with our golden grid to strengthen it, allowing the positive frequencies through to support life, and photosynthesis, and the more destructive gamma rays and such as that, transmuting into our golden shield around the earth and shifting, redirecting the polarity of the golden shield and of earth in general outward to the path of Nibiru as it's coming in. Once again, going back into no time and space, a point where Nibiru can be deflected and to an orbit that does not cause destruction to us. So, as negative repels negative, we repel Nibiru outward back at that point in time, is guided by the galactic flow. We see Planet X, the dead star, responding so subtly, only takes so little out at that distance. This is as far out as when the planet, the dead star, was first detected in 1987. We realize that this also helps the Nibiruan people. They don't have to be in as much fear of the destruction that happens on their planet with the passage also of Earth and the Sun disrupting their daily activities and their harmonics. And we direct our attention to the gods who are aware of what we're doing. And we use our desire and will, or in fact the desire and will of all planetary consciousness to direct towards the gods, our creators on Nibiru, to pull back any dominating energies from the people of Earth so we can break out of this 26,000 year domination cycle that they helped to create, that they thought was necessary in order to control people. But we're in the process of learning now and shifting our DNA implants and programming to come into harmony with the consciousness of the Nibiruan people and the Anunnaki, to allow all life to manifest naturally and the human population to evolve and come into dominion naturally, pulling off the stress of the financial structure of the Anunnaki had created, the cabal. As we extend the peaceful, loving, non-aggressive nature of dominion to weaken the forces and powers of the Nibiruans, directly affecting the cabal and all the leaders of the world to act and react in harmony, to bring stability and harmony to the earth. And this is done through free choice of every living being as they come into the self-realization that individually, by their own choices, through the group mind, they have all the power, that there really is no power in the cabal or the domination forces, no power other than that is allowed to them. And we feel the shift occur. And you feel earth relaxing. The stresses in my throat have released, indicating that we have done well today. Now bring our awareness back up into our group mind consciousness. Are there any requests from anyone of anything that you're aware of that should be adjusted or worked with? Or
can you hear me, Frank?
Not too well. I'll turn your volume up. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, this is Diane. I was just reading that there is a large solar blast expected today. The next couple of days might be a little intense because of the sun energy.
Yeah, we've reinforced our golden grid, and it automatically holds the program to bounce those around us and to absorb them and utilize that energy, absorb that energy, and use it in the grid to carry our desired will to everything on Earth.
The earthquake cauldron area in Iceland.
Yes, that's a good point. Take our awareness to Iceland. Okay. All right. That area is 108 kilometers southeast of a Curie. So we lift that energy upward, realizing that this is a necessary thing that's happening as Iceland ice cap melts, which is happening quite rapidly. The surface of that volcanic island, pressure is being released on that. That's allowing more release of energy and the potential of more volcanoes. So we lift that energy upward. The island is actually rising, and that raising from release of the water and the weight of the water is causing a shifting which could in the future really intensify earthquakes and volcanoes. So we reach into the future, lift that energy upward, and we use it to wrap a shield of energy around Iceland to contain the eruptive forces, the ash that is released. So the eruptions are minor and ongoing rather than explosive blasts that could cause problems. And we see that continue on into the future. And we'll reinforce this as we think about it and are prompted. Does anyone else have any suggestions?
Yes, Frank, can we, like in Japan with all the radiation, with all the chemtrails and all the chemicals that are being dropped upon us, can we turn those into beneficial energies?
Yes, we programmed that into the Golden Grid, 6 or 8 months ago.
Wonderful.
But it's good to reinforce that desire and will, to have those toxic materials transmuted into beneficial particles and neutralized. And have this an ongoing condition of the Golden Grid. Its frequencies resonating from the Golden Grid disrupt the intent of those who act in domination, who desire to limit the world population by causing diseases. We shift the consciousness of all those who are originating those thoughts and to those who carry out the actual functionality of creating the negative organisms. We bring into their consciousness that Earth can carry its population. It can sustain itself. If the finances and abundance of the world is allowed to be distributed equally around through the world in dominion. And those that have for the last 50 years been creating the intent to reduce the population by 80% so they could be masters of the world. We see their financial structure collapsing and falling apart. And we see a shift of consciousness of all the people who support them disintegrating their support. So they're left with nothing but being feudal old men who carry a grudge against the world. This goes all the way up the pyramid of power to the Anunnaki, the demigods who were left here on Earth. And in order to give them self-realization, we stimulate the genealogy of those who have immortality, that they become vulnerable to the things that they are creating on Earth, and their vulnerability causes them to self-destruct. So their fear of losing their longevity prompts them to cease the operations and to come into awareness that they are one with us, the rest of the world, and that a minuscule part of the population it creates great karma for itself and ultimately self-destructs them. And that's what the redirection of what they create to circle back and be self-destructive to them causes them to change their minds, their thinking, use their power for dominion rather than domination. And feel the galactic energy pour through to help us create these frequencies of energy. And we reach to the golden grid again and reinforce programs we've created of shifting all human consciousness into dominion without the need of war or even the world even getting having awareness of it happening. Because dominion is the natural state of consciousness, so we break down, clear, and release the negative programming that has held the world in domination for 26,000 years. The New World Age is here. The New World realization. The New World reality.
The now world reality.
The now world reality. Are there any further suggestions? Uranium? Yeah, we feel, as you focus our attention on that, we feel an intensified flow coming through the galactic center, through our hands, so we direct that energy to all those who are being negatively influenced by depleted uranium or the use of toxic chemicals. Neutralize the effects. To heal the DNA of anyone that's been adversely affected by the influence of chemicals or radioactivity. And so it is to bring your awareness back into your own reality now and reach out into your own reality and heal your surroundings, your community. To resonate dominion into your communities and let that stimulate others, the subconscious of others, to make right choice and dominion. So we shift the consciousness into the new paradigm. And so it is. Come back into your soul centers now. Step up forward into your frontal lobes, back into consciousness. And out into the outer world and feeling wonderful. Because you are wonderful. Okay, Gary, since JP didn't put us up, perhaps you can take your recording and post it on Wolf Spirit Radio or wherever you can to get it out there, because this was a good one today. Yeah. You might try to contact him and see what went wrong today. All right, if there are no other thoughts or ideas, we'll go to the Stellar Group. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you in our other group.
Love, love.